Right, I am back with another Destiny 2 video, but once again we are focused on some issues rather than the game itself. I touched on this briefly yesterday, but I think we really got to talk about the absurdity of this Game Award situation where Bungie is nominated for Best Community Support alongside Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk, Final Fantasy XIV, and No Man's Sky. This, of course, is darkly ironic because Bungie just laid off a significant portion of their community support team a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, exactly, essentially, including some of the most forward-facing community members, or community team members. Liana, the lead CM, Griffin, social media leads, and a bunch of others on player support. Player support is more than just community managers. There's a whole team of, content creator liaisons, event people, social media. Like, it's a whole portion. And we know, like, this is like the publishing half of the company where it's stuff that's not, literally building the games, but these layoffs were mainly focused on that portion of the company, which was deemed more expendable than the other portion, which was, those making the games. There were some layoffs in that department as well, but the community stuff really took a hit. And Destiny has been nominated for this on and off for several years, and it won back in 2019. But what's really striking is, like, the Bungie people are pissed. Like, both the people that were fired, obviously, but even past people are starting to speak out now about how long this has kind of been going on and how long the community team has sort of been mistreated. Current people within the system are not saying anything, obviously. I think that is wise on their behalf. The community team is essentially down to 3 people. I think it's Cosmo, Timon, and Bruno. And it's been so decimated that no one is signing the TWABs now. I don't know exactly who's writing the TWABs. My guess is Bruno, because he's written a bunch of these, and Cosmo hasn't written for a while, although maybe he now has to. The Destiny 2 team Twitter account, that was supposed to be the main vessel of communication to players, because it was not maybe the best idea to have everyone doing it on their personal accounts like DMG used to. That is not tweeted since November 2nd, which was only saying that, like, there would be a TWAB the following week. Has not tweeted anything, did not obviously tweet about the nomination here. But it's, man, like, reading through what people are saying, like, in the wake of this, like, not just the community, like, everyone was memeing about this in the community of, like, how screwed up it is that, this happened and after the layoffs. Griffin said on Twitter, he quote tweeted the nomination and said, "A reminder that your quality of work does not matter. In the end, you're just a number." And he said he was adding the nomination to his resume, which obviously he should. He's part of that team. And then as a reply to that, DMG said, "Cheers to studios who send their community teams to award shows when nominated for community-specific awards. Kudos to those who don't reprimand their community team for celebrating upon a W too." So this is in reference to in 2019 when Destiny 2 actually did win Best Community Support. I think that was, I don't remember when Deej left, but it was like the Deej, Cosmo, DMG trio. I think it was around that era, and they won. It was like a pre-show, one of those pre-show awards, and where it's just Jeff and, like, someone kind of comes up and talks to Jeff after the win. Accepting that award was Mark Noseworthy and Luke Smith, who were running Destiny 2 at the time, and it was not terribly well received that the Community Support Award was received by the bosses, the same type of bosses that are now being cited as kind of the bad guys in this layoff situation. Luke and Mark Noseworthy were promoted to, I don't even know what they do now. They're like overseeing Destiny as a franchise, whatever that means. But I believe they were the, along with Parsons and all them, like, part of the people involved in these recent decisions. And it was not the greatest thing for them to go and accept the award on behalf of the community team, which obviously should have been able to accept it themselves. And then apparently, which I didn't know, the community team was chastised for celebrating this. I don't know what exactly they did other than, where's he going? Then tweet about it. I doubt they were, dancing in the hallways or something, but it seems insane that they would be reprimanded for celebrating that. And then Ben Platnick chimed in, who used to do VFX, and I think he works at Riot now, along with TMG, also works at Riot. It says, or any team that matters. So apparently other teams, finding success, if they've celebrated, they're also told not to. Like, I don't know if this is some like, Bungie, we're all a team and we all win, so you specific department shouldn't be celebrating, blah blah blah. Anyway, it's bullshit. And then Liana just responded to the initial nomination tweet with just ha 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 ha. Later she quote tweeted and just said like, yo, and yeah, in all seriousness, like, personal feelings aside, like, Cosmo, Timon, Bruno are doing great work, etc. It's ridiculous. I mean, I know, to touch on another angle of this, when the nomination came out, a lot of people were talking about the layoffs, but other people were like, how could Destiny 2 possibly deserve like a best community support award? And like, it is true that communication over the past year or two has been spottier and a lot more limited than it was in the past. But what's become clear after the layoffs, whether it's people speaking publicly or people talking privately, is there really was not a lot of leeway for the community team to work. They are limited in what they can share to the community by the bosses, because information that the community wants to know, the better communication, is strictly limited. So that's why it takes something like a Joe Blackburn state of the game, or then the Joe Blackburn apology for the state of the game. Like, even then you can see how hard it is to like convey. So the community support team was doing everything they could, and then on the other side, it became very obvious that the community support team was bringing all of these player concerns to management all the time and really fighting for a lot of things that players wanted for a very long time. And a lot of that stuff was just rejected, or it was delayed and took forever to get out. So I think this narrative that communication was bad, like the community support team did a bad job, I don't think that's true. And I think what we've learned post layoffs indicates really how much they were fighting for the player base. And so I do think they deserve this nomination. So in terms of actually winning the award, this is up to, I think it's a combination of fan voting and the voter board or whatever. I'm not a Game Awards voter. I need to talk to Jeff, I guess. I don't know if I think people are going to be split on this, because my personal opinion is that they should win, not just because I think they do a good job, but also because it would, it's something they deserve in the wake of these layoffs, to show Bungie that like, you're an idiot for laying off your award-winning community support team in the most cold way possible. The other side of this is like, I don't know if there's going to be some people like thinking this like rewards Bungie. Like, why should we give Bungie a reward? If there's, something to brag about if they just laid off these people. I get both sides of that, but I fall on the side of like, this would be kind of a tribute to those on the community team that got laid off, and the people that are still there, who I think are still doing the best they can now in a very, very, very bad situation. Because of this split, and because of other games, certainly having great community teams as well, I kind of doubt it'll win, but I do know at least the wider industry pool is, all these game journalists and industry figures, like, they're well aware of the layoffs. The Bungie layoffs were not like a self-contained thing in the Destiny community. Like, they were very widespread and discussed everywhere. So I do think people know about that, and I think they might get some votes from non-Destiny 2 people for that reason. So if you are voting the Game Awards, I would vote for Bungie or Destiny 2 in this category, as I think it sends a message about how stupid they were to lay these people off. So that is my personal opinion, what I'll be doing. But yeah, it sucks. All of this sucks, and it's a joke that like this happened. Like, the only award Destiny 2 was nominated for, they didn't even get best ongoing, and like, Lord knows with Lightfall that wasn't going to happen this year. But the one award they win is the exact department they probably decimated the most, which is just a joke. I heard the other department they decimated the most is player security. So enjoy your cheaters. Okay, so that's my abridged thoughts there. I don't know how, like, I've moved away from my daily Destiny column. I've done other videos instead of Destiny. I'm not one of those content creators who's going to be like, I'm pivoting from Destiny to Variety because I already kind of do Variety because that's my job. I cannot write only Destiny content on Forbes. It's like 1 out of 5 articles a day. I absolutely understand why those content creators are doing that because just the situation with Destiny right now and the state of the game and how many other good games are out, it is hard to rely solely on the whims and the ups and downs of a single game. That is terrifying. So I absolutely understand why people are doing that. Anyway, we'll start hearing more about next season in the coming weeks here, and there'll be stuff to talk about. But yeah, this was an absurd situation, and I do think they should win to pay respect to those who got laid off and to those that are still there, really trying their best. But anyway, me and Evie say goodbye, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.